Hey guys, so welcome back. Welcome to part 3 of the Beyonce Theory, Chapter 4, Episode 3. Now, this is going to feature back in 2016. We're flash forwarding 9 years in the past. We're talking about Beyonce releasing her 6th studio album and then going on tour. Now, this was a moment on TV that you had to be there. When Beyonce announced Formation tour and the small commercial came up showing the monoglyph rotating, and out of nowhere Beyonce has this flower indicating the Formation tour, and then boom, we get an HBO special which titled Lemonade. We knew that this album was just more than just scandals and cheating. This was such a personal album that when you interconnect what was going on at that time and versus what she planned on doing when it came to the death of the teacher she also had as well, which was Prince. So Prince died, I would say, roughly the same year, right in the middle of the Beyonce announcement tour, and then she released the HBO special. So all that was happening all at this time, as well as the police brutality. So when Formation came out and she did it at the Super Bowl 50, and then boom, we saw the commercial. And then the highlights that I got from the Formation tour, even though I did not attend it, it was, from what I heard, it was a spectacle. Going back and researching the stage design of the Formation tour and how important it was to look back into previous things that she has done. So this tour stage was supposed to be probably the most futuristic thing at that moment of that year. A lot of people were talking about the stage itself and how it covered literally everything. And what's cool is it was smack right in the middle of the stadium. What was cool about this tour is that she was able to pack more people into the concert, with the duality similar to her doing her Super Bowl performance back in 2013. It was almost of a duality between Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. This was literally the split between those two characters. What's also cool is that I went and researched more of the stage itself. I find it cool that it reminisces on the Beyonce Super Bowl stage, but at the same time it reminds me of what we're gonna get towards more in the future, where this stage itself was built with N-words, which means all of the hidden mechanisms were inside of the stage itself, but the stage was a gigantic cube. The performance of this stage allowed Beyonce to create visuals that we have never seen before and will probably never seen again. The way she captivated the audience with the monoglyph, which was the Formation stage, is the first out of many stages to come for Beyonce to release something. So when this stage was created, this was one of the first pieces indicating that the 3-act trilogies, and from hearing from Beyonce now with all of the things that she had planned after the CMAs and 2017, 2016, right? This is the range of when the Lemonade era stopped. She started the Lemonade era from very early of the year, which was probably in January to then February at the Super Bowl 50, and then boom, released the whole thing, went on tour I think in April 11 or so. I have to research more when she kicked off the tour, but the monoglyph was a success, and that looking back at the tour now, I can't wait to go back and rewatch the entire concert in the past to understand the future. Like I said, Beyonce is a person that works in such interesting ways, because looking at the stage, this is out of the four different stages she has in the future, right? With Formation being the first one to literally give you the level of production that she had in store, and then flash forward to Cowboy Carter, Renaissance. So we could start seeing a pattern where the monoglyph was the square and the PlayStation box like logo, and then the triangular was the Cowboy Carter, and then flash forward, the circle was the Renaissance, and now the only symbol that is missing out of that control pad now is the X shape. And I believe her using prints for her previous store to, like, you could see the combination between the Renaissance tour stage and the Cowboy Carter stage. I think I mentioned that in my second episode, how those two symbols, the male and female counterpart energy, was the Prince Purple Rain stage for Super Bowl 2007, and then Beyonce kind of like took inspiration from that and created her own by creating those two things a couple of years later down the line. So what I'm explaining to you guys is, look at the PlayStation buttons and how each opening of each stage that Beyonce has done has been derived from any of those shapes. So with the Formation, you had the square, Cowboy Carter had this triangular, and then Renaissance had this circular portal. So the only thing missing now is the X, which I think with the Rebel of the Formation tour, how she did at the Super Bowl 50, how she went in the X formation, I also believe she predicted that as well, that her next phase is going to be an X stage representing the Act 3, and rock is definitely the red color. So looking at everything from 2016 to Renaissance, then to Cowboy Carter, these three stages has a lot in common than you guys think. And I've been looking at each of those stages and how it opens and closes. Like the monoglyph stage that she did had such range, because the stage could open in different ways. And I think what made it so awesome is that all of the mechanism of what made the project, I guess, move was inside of the monoglyphs. So the changing, the screen, everything was inside of the monoglyph. This was probably the most unique stage that I have seen from Beyonce, and I will tell you guys, when that stage started rotating, from what I seen, and how she had all of her pictures in different side of the screen, the rectangular stage was such a beautiful piece of art. So for people that went to the 2016 Formation tour, you probably have some of the most stunning pictures that Beyonce has ever, and it had like a carpet rollout, which kind of like brings out Beyonce, as she performs. There's like this long runway, and the runway has like this sort of like treadmill where she could walk at the edge of the stage and then come back. She did that very similar to even the Coachella set, where the stage leads out to the main stage and then it could come back. So when you're looking at the technical part of Beyonce's production, it's matching with the different acts of what she's working on. So with this act, which Lemonade was like considered like act 0, and I felt like Lemonade kind of like produced the 3 other acts. So when you think about the Black Betty tour, I think Beyonce will come back and use the monoglyphs, but I think that it's going to be 4 different monoglyphs in each corner of the main stage, which will be like an X stage, and that X formation stage will be the rock stage. So let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys for episode 4, which I have a lot of surprise since it's going to be episode 4. Thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.